Hi everyone, welcome to Amaranth. These are general messages for the collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus and Jupiter placements. Let's get into it. So the first card you have Cancerians today is the Pillar of Severity. And it further says severity, courage and form. So if you look at the picture, there is this left pillar, right, which has these three major planets which are aligned along this human body. So right at the top, there is egg life for Saturn, which means that energy on the head, the crown area, is ruled by the Saturn's energy, which is about creating a structure, a form. And then you have the Martian energy, below that you have the Martian energy, which is about the courage, the boldness, right? The energy, the vitality to bring things forward. This person also has a sword, so there is some form of a cutting, pruning, releasing energy to this. And then below Mars, you also have the life of Mercury, which is about understanding communication, strategizing and all of that. And the most important thing is that all of these three planets, which are along the left pillar, are connected with the yellow dot. The yellow dot, which is the sun. It's actually the energy of Venus, which is like, happiness and warmth and, the beauty, the underlying beauty of that. Like, all of those three planets are working to create something good for you because it's connected to the yellow dot. So I do feel that there is definitely an energy of cutting things away. And also, because Mercury is here, Mercury is going to be in retrograde in your sign, in a few days. So energy's already started, the pre-shadow energy. And also Jupiter, the Jupiter transit, from Cancer to Leo. Jupiter is a planet of blessing. And for you Cancerians, the blessing is fourth house themes, right? Of family, of home. Even land is the theme for fourth house, which is for your sign. So whatever ideas, projects or negotiations around this will be blessed by the Jupiter energy, which is leaving your sign, getting into Leo. So, and also the Mercury retrograde actually will come as a blessing to you, because Mercury retrograde will, it's like retrograde energy will push your emotions inwards to analyze, to see what's not setting well. And then the Mars energy over here is going to push you forward to have the courage to make those changes. And Mercury is all about communicating. So what you're feeling on the inside through Mercury retrograde, you will be able to communicate better, but it needs to be done with Saturnian strategy and structure and form. You can't be, because Saturn is a hard task master. So you can't really be shouting and screaming and, drama is not really the energy of Saturn. It's like you go within, you understand what's bothering you, and then you release that, and fix it or release it or prune it or refine it or cut it out, At the most, you got to cut things out that are not working for you, that are draining, And that cutting out doesn't have to be just people. It could be any habits. It could be finances. It could be subscriptions. It could be... Sorry about that noise. So yeah, it could be financial drains, whether you are overspending or you're not budgeting correctly or you're buying unnecessary things. All of those will need to be looked at closely. Now, the good thing about this energy is it gives you the courage, It's like some of you might also plan to shift, to move if things are not setting well, if you don't like your house or you don't like your job or you don't like something about the city. The Jupiter is like, okay, whatever your emotional space is not liking, you will have the courage to release that and change that. So, and especially for the Cancerians, you have like the crab is your, like, the spirit animal that has an armor, a shield. So yeah, I feel that energy is also being activated by, like boundary setting, You don't want to be part of any kind of dramas. So you gotta release that part as well. For some of you, this could be, making the changes that are needed, whether in your house, whether in your relationships, whether in your job profiles, or in your commute, the way you commute, the way you do life. All of those things might also need some kind of a revision. Yeah, and for some of you, this is like, it's not easy, it's called a pillar of severity. So it is going to take a lot of courage for you to have just difficult conversations, to remove things. It's not easy to remove things. It's easy to bring them on. So even if that work, because even on a global level, I feel this energy is playing out, not just for Cancerians. I feel that, just a lot of layoffs going on, people getting released, that's kind of a pruning for the company because they want to just, reorganize their teams, their finances, and all of that. So these are difficult moments, and the company needs to have these difficult conversations and then release the people, that are not privy, able to, the company is not able to support them, because of financial constraints or restructuring, whatever that is. Similarly, if you are with people that are not aligned with you, then it's a hard call to make, like what exactly you want to do, what's going to be the future direction. So a lot of talks around money is going to be a big thing. Some kind of, what's going on at home, how things should be, and it will take a little bit of courage. For some of you, this could be, the environment around you where you are seeing that, people are kind of standing up to bad management and they want, either an accountability or they want people to resign. We are hearing this left and right, people that are not doing, especially at the higher level, if there is some scams or misconduct, then, the citizens of people across the world, they're not appreciating that and they want a step down. So that's, again, a harsh reality that some people are facing. You might be seeing that around you, where people are not trusting and they want change of management or a restructuring of the management. So restructuring is going to be a lot at the forefront of this energy, either because of finances or because of trust issues or because, the structure is not right or the organization is not function right, or the person is not doing the good job, because it's the need of the hour. It's not, anything else. It's got not negative, nothing to do personal, sentiment, but it's just that it's not functioning right, so it's got to go. Similarly for you, if you're a business owner and you're buying things and they're so expensive, and you're like, so a lot of reforms happening, a lot of changes happening, a lot of discipline, assessments happening. And these are small changes. I feel that, always small changes, small things that are assessed, released, removed, refined, transformed, they actually lead to bigger things. So if, you might be making a lot of changes, around your home or, in your work, you might see a lot of restructuring happening, or the way could be in your own personality. It just depends. It's going to be different for each one of you. Like the way you do things, what you accept, what you don't accept, and you being sometimes, because the SWOT is there, so you have watching your words, you might sound a little bit, like blunt or harsh at times. So you have to just soften that, because Saturn energy is going to make it harder if you use harsh words. So be more composed and deliver the same message, but with softness, and that's going to serve the real purpose why this pillar severity is here. So I feel that you are going to be working on things, strategizing, using a lot of your brain processes, keep creating that solid structure foundation with gentleness, with the reason, and also, because Saturn is here. Saturn is creating structures that last a long time. So you will be looking at things and organizing that to go the distance, that last for a long time, Now, some of you might be also into medical professions, as surgeons. That's also another way of looking at this, and getting to that point is not easy. It's a struggle. So for some of you, the struggle might be right out there. But in general, I feel you will need to take to some kind of meditation practice so that you're able to avoid any kind of harshness and confrontations and arguments and drama, and say things in a more gentle way. And keep your calm in case there is an external situation which is difficult and harsh, because you might see that people also are getting a little bit, pushback, or, kind of harsh, or drawing the lines. So in those situations, your calmness and your patience is going to be extremely rewarding. So if you don't have a meditation or a calming down practice, it's going to be very beneficial for you to get through this. The next card you have, Cancerians, is number 51, and it says, "To the moon and back." I remember that beautiful song. I don't know which band that is, "Flying to the Moon and Back. Would you be my baby?" But that's, some of you could be listening to songs in relation to the moon. Or, even some of you might be wishing to go to the moon and back, Recently, NASA and all of those spacecrafts, they've made such great developments that people are actually, going to the moon and coming back in a few days, months, weeks, right? So it's like a dream come true in the modern times. Now, if you see the picture, there is this person out here, she's sitting on a moon. The moon has become a swing for her, right? It's like a pendulum. And then there's birds that are sitting on her hand, one on her shoulder. She's just dreaming away, It's such a serene atmosphere, ambience. There's wings, like her skirt has turned into wings. Wings are nothing but, the ability to fly. Wings give you the ability to fly, but you have to fly. You have to take that flight, right? You have to push yourself to take that flight. You have to be willing to move forward. And birds being messengers out here, so... And also the crescent moon, right? It's a waxing moon. So waxing moons are, the waxing moon is an energy of growth, not fully there yet, something which is going behind the scenes, or something that you have been putting energy into. It's growing, steadily, but it's not quite there yet. For some of you, this could be like sort of projects that you've been working on for quite some time, that you've been wanting to build, passion projects, or just at your workplace, maybe something at home, in the community, whatever that is. You could be putting your time and energy into something where you're seeing like, yeah, something's coming out of this, like some results are starting to show up. You're not quite there yet, you've not completed it, but at least you can see something happening. Now, for others of you that are actually just, this person out here is just dreaming away, thinking about something. So for those of you who really want to start on something, who have been planning, or you have it in your mind and heart, this is a good time to actually ground that thought, because the sun is in your sign, Cancerians, it's your solar return time. The focus is on you, your wishes. What do you want? It's an opportunity. It's the most solid opportunity for choosing yourself, for choosing what you want, to create what you want. And because the Cancerian energy in a fourth house, it's about home, family, people, and all of that. Cancerians generally tend to put other people's wishes and emotions ahead of themselves, right? But here, this is like your turn. It's your turn, actually, to wish what you want, to create what you want, to do what you want. So if you have any desires that you have in mind and heart that you have not been able to say it out loud, this is your chance to say it out loud, or ground that thought. If you want to start a project, ground it, write it on a piece of paper so that it gets grounded, Because if it's in your head and heart, it's still in the ethers. When you ground it on paper, it actually solidifies, and the universe actually works towards creating that, forward motion for you. So, also Jupiter is transiting with you. Jupiter is just almost out of Cancer into Leo. So, Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So anything that you want and you put your heart and soul into it, it will actually grow by leaps and bounds. It has that magnetic charm to it, or the quality. It's going to be really great, because Jupiter is going to go straight into Leo, which is a sign of shining bright and outward expression. So for some of you, this could be like writing something creative, doing something creative, and then expressing it and showcasing it to the world, releasing it, launching it, and showing it out. For some of you, it could be that as well. But whatever plans you want for yourself, whatever ideas you have, write it down, and give it to the universe, and then the next steps will be worked out for you. You'll get the ideas. You'll know how to move, because moon energy is like one step at a time. The whole path is not clear. So create a path, create a plan, a little bit of a step by step, and see where you want to go and how you can make the next step happen for you. I also feel that for some of you, this could be moon energy is like, it's related to the oceans and water. So for some of you, you could actually be visiting places like this. I've seen so many places, like, there's swings in the open in the hillside and all of that. For some of you, you could be visiting places that have these kind of swings, big giant swings in the nature. And those areas, for the most part, as far as I can recall, are close to the water, to the ocean and things like that. It's a very natural vibe to those areas that have these large swings for people to enjoy, the bird levy view and sceneries and, scenic areas around. So for some of you, you could be traveling to those places that are by the water, or, something related to water as well. Or in places where you can actually see the moon, maybe in the wilderness, maybe in some tree houses and cottages where you can actually go outside and relax like this in the moonlight. So for some of you, it's like just spending time out in the nature, either during the day or even during the night. Yeah, so I feel that it's a time, to the moon and back. It's like, it's a dream come true. Some wish of yours is already in the works here, to the moon and back is nothing but a dream coming true. So something definitely is in the works for you, even though it might not be fully ready yet. And if you have any other desires, put it on paper, say it to the universe, speak it out so that it actually becomes a reality for you. And I also feel that if you, it doesn't have to be like really big desires. It could be anything small, like, upskilling yourself, learning something, going to a college and attending a course, or starting a small business, or just having a group of friends, in your backyard, doing your backyard, and, preparing a nice meal, unique kind of a meal. Even those small things that you have been putting off for way too long, because, life happens, you get busy. This is the time where you can make all of those things happen, candlelight dinners and things, or just picnics or outdoor stays in the nature, in the wilderness. Even the small mundane things, if you've been holding that in your heart and mind for some time, then this is the time to actually plan for it, and things will work out really well. So it's a good time, a little bit intuitive and more heart-based energy over here rather than the cerebral, so more heart-based, more emotional. You might be, I don't know, birds are here, so something about the past, some memories also might come up, because Mercury is going into retrograde in the next few days. So when it goes retrograde, our emotions are heightened, and something of the past can come back, and it gets emotionally charged up. So just be mindful of that. You could be like thinking of the past, some memories, some fond memories could be coming up. And, sometimes these memories, when they come up, they just are here because they remind us that this is a desire we had in the past. And now it's time, and the energy is available to us to pursue it. So for some of you, if you're thinking about the past, what you wanted, it's because it's a desire that now can be fulfilled for you. So just be mindful of that. And of course, during Mercury retrogrades, there is definitely older thoughts, memories of the friends, family, old neighborhoods, all of that could come to you. Maybe even some people that you had known in your younger days or in the past could also reach out in some way. So it's a good energy here. For some of you, could be just stargazers, and you can go out and, observe the stars, the moon, planets, and all that. If you're into astronomy, for some of you, it could be that as well. But heightened intuition is also something which Cancerians are already born with. But you could be experiencing a little bit more of heightened emotions. So just be mindful of that. Also, this is 5-1, so 5-1 and 6 numbers are coming through strong with this energy. And the last card for today, Cancerians, you have is a message from Cosmos, and it says, praise yourself. Further, it says, write down a list of things you are good at and you appreciate yourself. Take a moment to think of all the amazing aspects that make you. Use this question for help in making this. If you were somebody else, what about you? Would they envy? When you acknowledge the good aspects about yourself, you enforce them and feel more complete and empowered. If you only pay attention to the things you lack, you will feel incomplete and unsatisfied, adding to the feelings of stress. So yeah, never talk negative about yourself, always say positive things. And I've seen a lot of videos where people stand in front of the mirror and praise the image that you see in the mirror. It just is a way to boost your own self-respect, self-esteem, and just be happy with who you are and where you are in your life. That itself changes the frequency of you, and it attracts a lot of positive things and opportunities because now you're loving who you are instead of comparing yourself. So no comparisons. Everybody's path is unique. Just appreciate yourself for how far you have come, the capabilities you have, and who you are as a whole person, heart, body, mind, and soul, everything. And that's when we realize that we miss out so many good aspects that you already have when we try to compare ourselves with other people. So never no negative self-talk and just only praise. So Cancerians, those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Scorpio. So the first card you have, Scorpio, for today is number 1. And it says, Keter, the crown. Further, it says source, point, and attainment. So this is a very deep energy out here for you, Scorpios. It is bluish in color, which is it's watery underneath that, right? The emotion. Also, there is the crown, which has the Neptune dive. And Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So there is an water undertone, water element undertone to this, and you are the fixed water sign. And Neptune is the planet of divinity, of connecting to the divine source, mysticism, the unknown, and all of those, the cosmos, the higher self. And especially the Keter is a crown, right? It's the highest point, in our chakra system. It's the highest point. The point where, the divine meets the human. It's the egoless point. It's pure consciousness, right? When you're so deeply connected with the divine, knowing that we're a part of it. Then there is this eagle out here, that's speaking through the right shoulder of this king. And the king is gentle, smiling, It has a whitish tone to the hair. So there is experience and, it's like leading from experience, from knowing, from been there, done that, experienced everything. And especially for you, Scorpios, Pluto is your planet of transformations. So, you kind of, the 8,000 energy is all about constant transformation, several times throughout the lifetime. And I feel that you have gone through several transformations. But you're the sign that has been blessed with the ability to absorb those transformations so elegantly and still keep smiling in the face of it. And this crown is so well deserved by you. You've earned it by means or by the hard work that you have put in, by the position that, your inner self knows who you are because of what you have dealt with, because of what you have transformed, because you have risen to that level, where you have been crowned as the king. So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of inner work. It takes a lot of outer work to keep, this calmness. And eagle is also your animal totem, Scorpio animal totem, it's like rising above, it's like rising above all the challenges and knowing that there is a higher purpose to it. It's to shape you, to make you into this king. The challenges that one faces in a lifetime and, the phases, whatever the ups and downs, the cycles, the way we deal with them is the recognition from the universe that, lends this kingly status in terms of our frequency, the universal frequency, and how we think, how we are connected to the higher source. So I feel that you're leading from a very thoughtful place, And it's time for you to lead, it's time for you to lead, and because, there is a deep connection. See, there is this pelican out here. Pelicans are all purity, so there is a purity to this. Um, there is a transformation, you have been purified from within completely. So you have transformed, you have been completely transformed, and I feel that there is still, a kind of peacefulness to this king energy, like, the way this king is smiling, looking, if there is a, cool, calm, collected composure to this energy. I feel you're staying calm, you have mastered that art of staying still, calm, no matter what you're going through on the inside or external circumstances, that's the true leadership, like to stay calm, irrespective of, what's going to happen next second, next moment, to lead even in the most uncertain times. That's the kingly status. So some of you might also be, because of Neptunian energy, it's a very diving into the unknown, like the cosmic laws, the universal truths, astronomy, stars, astrology, and all of those fields that kind of make you connected more to the divine. For some of you, you might be tapping into those resources as well. Now, others of you, this is like the person you have become over a period of years, of knowing how to, especially if you're in any kind of corporate or even business or whatever this is. This is like, you've done a lot. And this is a recognition from your team, from your company, that you have accomplished a lot. You've come a long way. The work that you have put out day in, day out is now starting to be recognized. For some of you, this could be your own business that you have created, and you have, overcome all challenges and risen to a point where whatever business that is, whether it's like a product business or, something creative, arts, wherever that is that you are bringing out into the world, launching into the world, this is something that will be remembered and there for a long, long time. It's like, people, it's like a footprint or digital blueprint, a footprint that you have created with this passion project or whatever you are launching into the world. So I do feel that, this is a good energy in the sense that you are also some kind of a mentor, advising. And, it's like you had so much of knowledge, accrued knowledge, through all the ups and downs and everything that you have been through, that you've become a very wise and knowledgeable person, that you're able to guide people. So it's a very positive energy. Also, it's a very, attainment source. I'm also picking up like a comeback energy. It's like, you've been there with all the challenges, you've been sitting, working through it, and now the comeback because of the strategy, because of the crown, the ideas, all of things that you have worked out. It's like you've risen back from the lowest point. So it's a very powerful comeback energy also that I pick up from this. Now, some of you might also be like accomplished in terms of spirituality, because that's what I'm getting, like the crown, the meditation energy. Like you might have some meditation practices that you're doing that is helping you stay grounded and also connected to the divine, the source, whatever you believe in. So there's a lot of that kind of a connection as well. And I feel that you could also be investing into things, like, for example, if you are like a coach or a mentor, you're investing into the people, the efforts, the skills, so that they create something which is so powerful and big and long-lasting. For some of you, for those of you that are pioneers or researchers or, high in the corporate, you might be investing into the basic things that actually create larger output. So it's like, for example, if you've been given a team to coach, whether it's in corporate or whether anywhere else, you're investing into those people, their personality, their skills, the methodology, the strategy on how to lead so that they go out there and do their thing and accomplish good results. So you're not going out there and doing it for them. You're teaching them. So investing into the root so that the fruit is bigger. It's that kind of an energy. This energy for you has a little bit more depth here, Scorpio, because every archetype, every energy has the spectrum, right? It operates on positive spectrum and the negative, and that's life. That's the archetypal energy. And the Scorpio archetypal energy, the positive side is that you can deal with transformation so gracefully. The downside of the archetypal Scorpio energy is that infamous thing. I feel that the presence of the ego, which is very much connected to the divine, right? Divine principle. It flies so high. It's a messenger. This is something that you have transcended. The negative spectrum of the Scorpionic energy has been transcended into the more positive space. That's why you have this kingly status out here. It's like the actual crown you deserve because you've been through it. You've left the shadow side. You've done the inner work. Now you're being crowned the king for the work you have put in. So definitely there is a huge transformation, huge shift in your energy. And I feel it's evident, even to the world outside, external world, the people, whoever you interact with can see the change. It's not easy to hide this energy of the king. It just shows up and people can see it. There's a lot of regal energy to this, royalty energy. So some of you might be actually stepping into royal positions, high positions, some kind of royalty maybe in your place or, in your area. It could be in any field or in corporate, in creative areas. There's a lot of royalty. You might be well recognized in that area. People praise you for the work that you put in. So it's a very royalty energy. Now, for some of you, this could be that you're actual kings, like a royalty, you have bigger homes, like kind of, architecturally, the royal looks, or even, those properties that look so regal. Some of you could be buying that, interested in that, or already owning that, or investing into that. Those beautiful penthouses and the homes that are, painted with gold and all of that, and they have beautiful decor. So very estate-y, very kingly kind of property. So for some of you, you could be interested in that, or you could already be owning that. So good energy here, Scorpio. I mean, 8th house is a very deep, deep energy in terms of relationships and depth of relationships and all of that. So that might also be something on your mind, like you're connecting deeply to other people. And, you're able to have those deep conversations for some of you. That could be the thing. And also the crown, the crown is drawing you because of the Neptunians, and the crown is very important, It's like a wise strategy, the ideas, what you say, and all of that, the qualities that you have, the leadership qualities, the communication, the writing, all of that is very kingly. It comes very royal, wise, knowledgeable, long-term thinking, executive, royalty kind of a place. So your words, your written words, your spoken words, your ideas, your strategy, all of that is, kind of that level. And I feel people are recognizing you for your qualities, whether it's business or whether it's a place of work. So really good here. There's a lot that you've worked through, and there's a lot I can still go on, but I feel that's what these 3 points touch on, the source and point and attainment. I feel those are the main elements, that you have worked towards, Scorpio. The next card you have, Scorpio, is number 16, and it says Eva. Below that, it says duplicity, discernment, caution, awakening, hidden truth, inner knowing. Okay, so, of course, very much the 8th house themes playing out here for you, Scorpio. And there's this beautiful woman out here, standing in a garden. And the flowers, or her gown that is made of the flowers, are a little bit, kind of tricky, because it doesn't look like very easy flowers. It looks a little dangerous kind of flowers, like, those opening, closing, those what is that flower called? I forget the name. Feels like that, It doesn't feel like a rose or, jasmine and things. There are a little bit of dangerous flowers that are used in the image out here. And, of course, there is a snake which is wrapped around her neck. So very much your energy, Eva is like the Eve, right? The knowing, the inner knowing. And with the keywords that we just mentioned, it's really about the depth of things, like on the surface things appear shiny and nice, and on the surface something else is going around. And your scorpionic energy, which is like, depth and research and getting to the bottom of things, Pluto and Mars being your rulers, and Pluto is in retrograde. Mercury is in retrograde. Planets in retrograde are going to peel off the layers, things that were hidden, that were buried are going to come to the surface. So you might figure some things out, whether it's in regards to, some information, whether it's regard to a system, your corporate, your home, people, your business, or in general, maybe your friends, family, whatever that is, some information that was hidden away, that was not made clear, that was not brought to the surface, will probably come to the surface, or you will figure it out. It could be that people, maybe if you're working or your business, people are saying something else on the face and doing something else, and you figure it out because, you have that extra vision here, Scorpio, and I feel you're going to use that. That's going to come in very handy for you. You're going to be able to tell, by how the person is behaving, acting, the body language, all of it is going to tell you a different story than what actually has been verbally told to you. So, but the thing is, because Mercury is going to be in retrograde, so your advice right now is, even if you are seeing things, and because Pluto is going to peel things, like an onion in layers. So everything is not going to be visible at one time. You're going to have to wait it out for a few days, for a few weeks. Because if you jump the gun and you immediately confront somebody or tell them, oh, this is what I figured and you said this, the rest of the information will not be disclosed to you, will not be visible to you. People will make extra efforts to concede that, to hide away that information that would, that you would probably have been able to figure out if you just kept the information to yourself. So if you're learning something, people said something else, they're behaving differently, they're saying something differently now, or they're acting differently from what they said they would. That's your cue out there, that there are more things hidden, and you should not speak up as yet. Don't point fingers, don't go confront anybody, Wait it out for a few days and weeks, because you will get the big picture. You'll get the full information in layers, part by part. So something definitely is going to become available to you, become available to public for, it could be that some kind of, I would not like to say deceit, but it could be for some of you that you were said something else and you got the short end of the stick, So it could be for some of you. So you have to be really cautious. And the king energy is cautious. Your gut tells you if something's wrong. Your gut tells you if something's missing or something's completely different from what has been shown to you or told you. Now, for some of you, you could actually be in those professions that need your extravision, like detectives and cybersecurities and all of those mystery solving and all of that. So your energy will come in very handy. You're already at the kingly status, right? You know how to stay calm, composed while uncovering information. So these qualities are going to be super powerful to you right now, Scorpio. Now, for some of you, you could be actually studying the more mystical arts, or psychology and things like that, of how people are acting, how they behave, how they, handle situations, how they cover up. All of those are going to come to the forefront. They're going to be at the forefront. Some of you, you'll probably uncover something, information about your office or maybe in the world out there, that people have, like, for example, let people sell a dream or they start a project, but undercurrent is something else, and they show that, oh, it's progress, it's growth, and, the city is growing. But underneath it, there is something else, We heard so many people whistleblowing, like, oh, the funds have been manipulated and transferred here and there, and nobody knows. Sneak is there. There is something which is an undercurrent different from what has been shown to you. Something is, I want to say, slithering away, Scorpio. So it's for you to catch that. Yeah, the snakes in the gardens is for you to catch. So, yeah, it's going to be a task, but nothing to fret, nothing to fear. You just have to be cautious. It's going to speak a lot about people, what they are, or what they project to be. So it's something for you to just, absorb, digest, and then stay away from those people, right, that you cannot trust. Now, for some of you, this can be also in terms of your house. If you're going to buy a house, be sure that you do the entire inspection or get the right report, because there are chances there could be leaks and hidden things you will find out later on in the property. So do your due diligence, any defects forms. That might cost you some money if you ignore, any kind of structural defects or plumbing defects, or even at a deeper level could be at the end. So get that inspection report like at depth before you buy into anything, or get the documents, understand, research, do your own research. If you're buying some other items like cars, do your research, the hidden cost and what are the deals they're offering you and all of that, like maybe there is something wrong with the car. Do your due diligence, write it out and see that everything has been correctly stated in the terms and conditions in the document. So that's something for you to figure out. Also, some people might act up differently. So you're like, this person, is always nice. When they're talking to you on phone, when they meet me, they're not really warm and cordial. Something's off. So that's something also to look into. So I do feel, Scorpio, that you're going to be in a very watchful, observant energy. Because you're observing. You're looking for answers. You're looking for behavioral patterns. And you will learn a lot. It might feel uncomfortable after you learn those things, but you have the kingly energy. You know how to handle it. It's like you're going to be still smiling away. Like, I know what's going on, and I'm not going to buy into it. I'm not going to be fooled by it. I'm going to walk out of this unharmed. And I will just, pretend like I didn't know anything, or I'm just so like I didn't know anything. So you have the inner information, you have the insider scoop, and you act very smartly with the king qualities that people don't even figure. Like, for example, your boss, praises you all the time, but then is not promoting you and promotes somebody else. And you're like, what is going on? And, I thought I was a star performer. So something you dig into and you're like, oh, this boss is really not what it seems like. It praises me just simply. But everybody else gets the raise and promotions, just not me. So I'm not going to buy into this. And you figure this out. And you're like, okay, so I'm going to return the favor to you, boss, by, exiting the place. So you find a job somewhere else that pays you higher and you walk out here without drama. This is how this energy is going to work out for you. You're going to figure something out. You're going to walk out of it unharmed. But you're going to be able to figure out the snakes in the garden. And that's going to be second nature to you. You can read the signals, Scorpio. You can read the room. And since you have a high EQ and IQ, you're just going to be, totally unbothered by what you figure. You're like, okay, I've been through this. I know how to handle this. This is my territory. I see, a lot of the situations we had in the past. That's the wisdom. That's the kingly wisdom. Knowing how to deal with every kind of situation is your superpower. So nothing to worry. It's just that your qualities are going to come in handy here, Scorpio. And the last opportunity, Scorpio, you have is a message from Cosmos. And it says space travel. It says, close your eyes. Imagine that in this instant you can space travel, rising up from where you are and seeing everything from above. We saw that in the king energy you had, there was an eagle for rising above. Further, it says, imagine yourself rising so high that you can see the limits of the city, then the country, and then the earth. So, yeah, high-level view of situation, of worldly situations, of earthly situations, of your own personal situations. Further, it says everything getting smaller as you rise higher. Yeah, the problems feel like, it's nothing. You got this. When you feel good, stop right there. Look at the place where you just were. How does everything look up from there? and it's the entire transformation energy. You've transcended all those negative things, all those negative experiences, and you've transformed it into wisdom and superpower. Further, it says, how do you feel now looking on from a distance? Stay in this place for 5 to 10 minutes and then come down. So just knowing that problems are tiny pieces and having all those qualities, you can easily transmute and transcend those, difficulties. Further, it says, from a distance, things and situations start to look smaller. Your negative reaction weakens, yeah? So you got this, Scorpio. It's like, already how to handle this. So those were your messages and hope they resonated with you. Now moving on to the sign of Pisces. So the first card for today, Pisces, you have is the personality triangle. Further, it says personality, nature, and mindfulness. Now, if you see here, there are 3 planets that are highlighted, which is Mercury, there is Venus, there is Moon, all connected to, again, the positivity, the orange and the yellow spots, the places. And in the backdrop, there's people, office culture, there is on the left side, people are working on laptops, also enjoying with balloons, and then on the right side, there are people on the kind of like a dining area having their meals in the backdrop, right? So it's a very worldly kind of a card. Not so much the ethers, but quite something to do with the world. I feel that, there's Mercury, there's Venus, there is Moon. So Moon is about our subconscious state, the ideas we get, the dream state, and all of those ideas that come to us in the midnight or the later hours at night, or even while we're sleeping in the dream state. So some kind of ideas is going to be very important for you to, kind of pay attention to it also, I feel. Because there are some thoughts, some ideas that might just come up from nowhere, and you're like blown away, like, how did I, land this idea? But it's a very strong time for you to trust that there is some positive element to it. It carries a weight, so don't dismiss it off right away. So these 3 planets that are forming a triangle out here, your triangle is a harmonious energy, which means bringing all of them together. All one. It's your subconscious, it's your ideas, it's your feelings. Mercury is a communicator, like, what are you feeling? What do you want to say it out, write it out? Ground it. Ground those emotions, ground those ideas, write it on a piece of paper. Don't just let it be in your thoughts and ideas. Talk to people about it, try to materialize it. I feel that this is some kind of idea project that you have floating around in your head. Here, Pisces, that it's time for you to ground it. And because Venus energy is involved, it could be something related to Venusian energies like beauty, aesthetics, relations, love, even wellness and health and all of those ideas. So if you have something, if you've been thinking or creating something for yourself or for the community, for your family, it's time to ground it. It's time to create it. It's time to bring it into the world. And the Piscean energy is ruled by Jupiter, by Neptune, mysticism. All of those ideas are going to be at the forefront for you right now, Pisces, which means that therapy and wellness and, your own psyche, psychology, healing work, all of that comes to the forefront now. I feel that you might have some ideas about creating a business or a project in relation to meditation and retreats and centers, and there's a lot of, those, what do you call those philosophies, like mindfulness and heartfulness and all of those therapies, meditation, collective meditation, to rise in spirit, to rise in frequency, to rise spiritually, because this is a very earthy garden. So if you have such ideas that will bring the collective, Piscean energy is like lack of borders, right? So it's about the inner world, it's about emotions, the mental also, the psyche, the psychology, and all of that. If you can, understand that or bring people to understand that about themselves, understanding of the higher world, the subconscious, and spiritual practices and all of that, if you put a structure to that where everybody can come meditate together and rise in spirituality, because Piscean energy is a very spiritual sign as well. So some of you might be having such ideas that you want to execute. Now, recently we have that International Yoga Day, which is also about conscious living, mindfulness, what we consume, physically, emotionally, mentally, and all of those come under this kind of meditation and integration of mindful practices and spiritual practices, and having the body, mind, and soul in alignment. So a lot of research, scientists and are actually researching more about this, the psyche and connection and frequencies and all of that. So some of you could be involved in that, Some of you could be into those Buddhist principles, arts of living and well-being, and how to regulate the emotions and mental health. You could be community leaders or even double leaders, or getting into that space, reading up about it, and all the quantum physics and psychology, all of those areas kind of come together under this space. So you might be promoting more information, or you could be having those retreating spaces. You could be into those as well. You could be in service of humanity, sanctuaries, where people can come and resonate with nature, connect with nature, or even, in your personal space, in your home, you might be creating something similar, where you can meditate, you can feel that sun spaces and connection to nature and all of that. And it really helps to regulate our physical bodies, our emotions. It has been scientifically proved that having those spaces within the house itself, it really regulates our emotions, the hormones, and, our overall health and well-being. So some of you could be into that as well. Or creating safe spaces, as architects or as designers, having those water fountains, and meditation zen spaces and bamboos and all of that. For some of you, it could be that as well. Now, because we have mercurial presence over here, so some of you could be actually creating some documents or books or some kind of a plan around it, or talking about it, or spreading the word, or speaking about it at a global stage or on social media, on some kind of platform where you're able to communicate what you learn and how you want to help people and all of that, So some of you might be really active with your words and your books and spreading the word even. So to make this knowledge more accessible and easily available to people. And also because North Node is in your sign, Pisces. So there's a lot of destiny, forward moving energy with this. So they could be called to those areas. Maybe that's your destiny call, and like I want to work in these areas. It could be a destiny calling for you. So here clearly, because you have all these three in triangle, whatever you feel in your subconscious ideas, the dreams, the feelings that comes through strongly, like I want to create this, I want to do this. Mercury says, go for it, talk about it, create a plan. And Venus is like, it's going to be good for people. It's going to be a blessing for people. It's going to be positive. It adds to the beauty, to the world, to the wellness or upliftment of the world. So don't hold back on any ideas that you have right now for growth, spiritual growth, emotional growth, and all of those things. For some of you, this could be counseling as well, and highly spiritual motivation. The next card you have, Pisces, is number 52. And it says, see which. So number 5, 2, and 7 are coming through strong with this energy. And I wonder why they called this cute little girl who is, accompanying this fish. Looks like they're both together in the ocean. And there is a giant metallic pinwheel in her hand, which feels like it's like the propeller or the kind of, something that's cutting through water and leading her forward. So it's very childlike energy, very innocent, the younger days, the childlike spirit, lighter spirit. And I feel this is very much righty for you here, Pisces, because Saturn left your sign very recently, and Saturn is a heavy planet. It's a taskmaster, karmic planet. It makes you work hard for things. And it just left your sign a few months back, and I feel that heaviness, that effort that you put in has still been lingering on. And this is an anecdote to that, like Get into your childish self, get into your playful self, enjoy the things that you're doing on a daily basis. For some of you, this could be like, adventures, sport adventures, water adventures. This can also be you being in professions related to water, oceans, investing into those professions or domains, learning about them. This can also be just, a playful energy, I feel. But something like maybe related to water. I don't know if you are actually riding or doing some water sports or setting up about eco-marine systems and setting up those. But whatever this is, something related to water, young energy, playful energy. Also, if you have any ideas, go for it and create it. Maybe it's something to do with ecosystem, your water or kids. Maybe you have something to give back to the society in terms of creating something for kids or something that makes a person feel lighter or playful energy. Whatever those creative instincts that you're having, which is going to be really heightened right now because of the presence of the moon, in your previous card. So moon energy will heighten your intuition. You're already highly intuitive, so it's going to pick whatever ideas, if they're surfacing up, if they're coming back, especially with your north node in your sign. It's like something's calling you forward. Yeah. So write that thing, the idea on paper and commit to it. It could be anything. It could be sports or playing with kids or something like working in games or around the ocean water. Can also be any other crafts and, Piscean energy is very creative, but crafts and arts and all of that. So for some of you, commit to that and create something, in a very gentle way, which makes you feel lighter, which makes you feel more immersed, and at the end of it you feel like, oh, all the tension's gone away. So a stress buster activity or a sport, or even work which made you feel like really nice and lighter, which doesn't feel heavy as work. Now for some of you, this can also be because of which element is there, which means like connection to the deeper mysteries of life, spirituality, car, astrology, and oracle, and all of those modalities that help you get more insight, deeper insight to the human psyche, to human emotions, saying of human patterns and all of that. Healing, therapy is all again a similar theme that's come up to this as well. So, forest healing, walking in forest, nature, water, swimming, and loosening up with connection to nature in some way is also going to be very important and helpful. Now, for some of you, this could be visit to the beaches or water bodies. And, I've seen that when you go to the beach, so many things are inspiration. People are kind of collecting shells, that's inspiring. People are just swimming, rafting, water boats, all of that, so many ideas just come through. People are just playing with sand, building castles, and something just comes rushing. And for you, the possibilities higher of you getting inspired something in nature or around the beach areas, if you have some, or lake or, ocean side. So there is some fish that you have caught out here, maybe an idea. Some fish that you're catching. Whether it's an idea or a person or a situation, I don't know what this is, but something that you will be happy to catch or happy to walk with or keep with you. For some of you, this could be something to do with fishes. Your new interest in fishing or building aquariums or marine life and all of that could also be interesting to you. Or visiting, aquariums and all of those things can also actually release a lot of tension and pressure. But it's just watching those fishes swim by, it just something, happens inside the body and feels you more lighter. So for some of you, that's your medicine, going out, connecting with water. But in general, this is very light-hearted energy. So stay playful, stay light. Don't take things seriously, and I feel that energy will rub off on people, When they're around you, they'll feel lighter too, Talking about lighter subjects, fun, comic timing and all of that can be at the forefront, And it's very contagious, Laughter and lightheartedness. It just shifts the mood and feels everybody so, connected to the childhood or the childlike energy, And in today's world, like people think it's like, very well-behaved and serious kind of energy. But when you bring this aliveness, the lightness, the lightheartedness, people immediately pick up on it and, they jump into this energy. So for some of you, you could be the light and of the party, laughing around and all of that, which really eases the tension and sets up the mood for more fun. So for some of you, you could be, party, the life of the party and fun starters and firecrackers and things like that. So, and it's good, for the body, laughing, feeling light, healing. It's got a healing characteristic to it. So it's a good energy here, Pisces. I feel it's all about connecting to your inner child, happiness, pure joy, doing things, immersing yourself, and finding fun in everything that you do, finding the joy, not stressing yourself out over it. For some of you, you could be, your imagination, your ideas, your thoughts could be just peaking right now. So any creative ideas you have, hold on to it, catch that, and go run with it. And that's going to really help you, emotionally, physically, spiritually. All of them are going to benefit from this energy. And the last card for today, Pisces, you have is a message from Cosmos. And it says, breathe with your diaphragm. A very fish-like kind of an energy. Like, the fishes breathe differently. They come over water. They breathe from the scales or that, or whatever that is, It's deep breath. It's knowing when to come out of the water and breathe. And, some of you breath exercises and breath work can be also at the forefront of this. Further, it says, close your eyes and breathe normally. Which part of your lungs are you breathing with? Just breathing with its shadow, and you do not use your full breathing capacity. Yeah, because exercising of the lungs and breath work really has a calming effect on the nerves and neurons. Even the crown chakra gets activated and open, It's really good. Breathing exercises, breath work, a lot of research has been done and a lot of positive effects have been found to this. Further, it says, put your hand on your diaphragm and feel your breath. Sometimes your diaphragm might feel tighter than normal. And, if that's the case, then, especially if you're feeling some kind of constriction or pain around your chest area, Pisces, then it's highly recommended for you to practice that and open, your chest opening exercises and breathing is going to benefit you. More oxygen, more energy, and less of chest constriction. If you are feeling that, it'll help you with that as well. Further, it says sometimes your diaphragm might feel tighter than normal. If you feel a tightness, keep doing this exercise for a few minutes. Exactly. So some of you might be feeling a little tight around the chest area. So breathe, open up the lungs, your chest area. Sometimes muscle constriction and all of that can also keep it heavy and feeling tighter. Further, it says if you do not feel tightness, keep breathing for 5 to 10 minutes. Deep breathing relaxes the body, and focusing on your breathing relaxes your mind. Yeah, it's a win-win for your entire body, and you feel lighter and more energized. And this is my personal experience because I meditate and do this almost every single day. So it's a good exercise for you, Pisces. So those were your messages, Pisces, and hope you resonated with them. So thank you guys for joining. Please subscribe and hit the like if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye for now.